In the second part of this video, we are going to review how to complete a discipline referral in the school tool module. So in this particular case, I have gone into our training site and created a fake student so that we are not changing anybody's personal information, but we'll be able to show you the process for you to complete a discipline referral using School Tool. So assuming that you are already logged into School Tool, you're going to click on the blue Discipline tab at the top of your screen. And then you can type in the name of the student who you are going to write a referral for. So in this particular case, student's last name is Kidd. It's Abe Kidd, and there Abe Kidd is. If you choose to, you can, if you're not exactly sure who it is, you can click on the student to enlarge their picture to make sure that you are writing a referral for the correct student. You'll notice that there are two rows of tabs once you get to this screen, one at the top and one at the bottom. And depending on your security settings, you may have some of the same tabs over and over again. So for instance, here you have scheduling and here you have scheduling. So you may have discipline here and you may have discipline here. I'm going to work out of the top tab that says discipline. Scrolling down, you can notice that there is a box over here that displays a year. For most of the students that you work with, they will have a previous discipline history. And if you want to see their previous year's discipline, you can click on that box and change it to a previous year, and you will see the discipline referrals that they received in the previous year. In this particular case, we're going to look at creating a new referral. So we're going to come over to the green plus sign and click on it. And you'll notice when you get here that there are several things that are auto-filled. It defaults to the offender. It defaults to the school building in which the student is enrolled, and it defaults to that date, and it defaults to during school hours. It automatically populates the time that you are currently opening that discipline referral. So if you want to, if it's not that exact time, you want to change it to the time where the incident took place. And again, getting back to precision is priceless. Please be as accurate with this time as possible. So in this particular case, we're going to pretend that the incident took place at 1:11. It will default to the person who is logged into School Tool. If you are helping somebody to complete a discipline referral, you will need to click on that and toggle to the appropriate person. And then you find you have to fill in the location. So where did it take place? Now, getting back to some of the discipline data that we looked at, this is an area where I think we could all work to improve. The default is teacher's classroom. So if you don't change it, it's going to be teacher's classroom. But I encourage you to think about how we're using that. For instance, if it is something that takes place in a classroom, but it's during a study hall, is it teacher's classroom or is it study hall? And I think we need to make sure that we're clicking on study hall if that is the case. Okay, so here we're going to change it to study hall. And then we're going to look at the offense categories. Now, unfortunately, School Tool is a district purchased software program, and it has a lot of limitations in the discipline module. One of its limitations is that we have to see all of the different infractions that both sides of campus want to see. So the first infractions that you see are all Vader codable infractions and are areas that you are not going to select. Those are all things that go directly to our state Vader report and tend to be high-level incidents. The next infractions listed are all elementary school used infractions, and those are indicated by minor, major, and that's a system that they use. I'm going to scroll past those, and you get into the infractions that are listed by level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. And those levels correspond directly to our district code of conduct. So you're going to find the appropriate infraction. And in this particular case, it was pass abuse. So we're going to select pass abuse. And unless it was an FYI, which it could be an FYI, you're going to leave this area blank. But in this particular case, it is an FYI. So you're going to click FYI, which is to inform and document. That means you're letting the administrator know, the school counselor will get an email letting them know, and a copy gets either emailed or paper mailed home. So in this case, you're going to write down what happened. And I always start with the above student. Took a pass from study hall and signed out to go to the bathroom. 10 minutes later, the student was found sitting in the library. So once you've filled that out, you're going to indicate, is there anything that you have done in the past? Have you warned the student about this type of behavior in the past? Have you sent them to the office, which is not really a practice that we use, but it's an auto-populated item there? Have you spoken to the student's counselor? Have you talked to the parent in the past? Have you said to the student in the past, no, you cannot have passes out of my study hall because you used them inappropriately and kept them in your class? Special seating is not really very applicable to this. And then these two boxes are, you could write in here if you wanted to write in a little bit of a more detailed explanation of previous action that you've taken in the past. And then this box down here are comments that the administrator will complete. If there are victims, in which case, and in this case, there would not necessarily be victims, but if it was, for instance, situation where somebody was harassing somebody or had struck somebody or something like that, you can click on this plus sign here. You can search by any number of parameters. For instance, I always like to find last name. And then you can search for the last name. And you would then be able to select either all of the students or unclick all the students, select the student, continue, and it attaches that student to that referral. And once you're done with that, come all the way up here to the top and you click on saved. And there is one section that I apologize I went past without mentioning, and that is the date and the time that the parent was contacted, and that is completed. Here, again, that defaults to the date and time that the referral is opened. Once you've done all that, you click on Save. Now, I do want to come back right here just as a reminder. This is an area you want to stay away from, date seen. If you click on this inadvertently and you fill in date seen, what's going to happen is it's going to skip the administrator and it's going to go directly to that student's file. And you click on Save. And once you click on Save, it is completed. Assuming you haven't done what I just did and tried to erase.